This is Remix Report with your hosts, DJ JD and DJ J Spring. For the date of
January 17th, 2011.
Today's video brought to you by YourDJSkins.com. Pimp your gear today.
Hello everyone, welcome to Remix Report episode 139. I'm DJ JD.
I'm DJ J Spring.
And today we're here to talk about a classic remix. In fact, it's a DJ Riz remix, and this is actually kind of a week of Riz.
Yes.
Because we're all leading up to our interview that we just did with Riz, which is going to air on Friday. So make sure you tune into that. Lots of words of wisdom from the man himself.
This is actually a great week. We just started off with a rocket rant. We have DeVille, who's going to be doing an editorial for us tomorrow, and then DJ Riz interview on Friday.
Yeah, big week.
We promised you that we're going to step up our game this year, and I think we're off to a good start.
Definitely. Good job, Spring.
Thanks. I don't want to take all the credit, but...
All right, so the classic remix we're going to talk about today is Otherside.
It's not just because it's his #1 remix on Crooklyn Clan. I said to JD, I think we should do Otherside.
Yep. And
we checked, and it actually was #1, so well deserved.
And #5 all time on the site.
That's right.
Not too bad. So this is kind of like a B-more-ish remix. Definitely a lot of chopping going on, but why don't we actually take a listen before we get too much into this?
Feel the vibe. Feel the vibe. Feel the vibe. Feel the vibe. Come on. 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 Feel the vibe. Feel the vibe. Feel the bass. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on.
How long will I slide or separate my side? I don't believe it's been slitting my throat, it's all I am. Yeah, yeah,
Alright, so that was DJ Riz's B-more house version of Otherside by Red Hot Chili Peppers. And one of the crazy things about this is, as someone who plays a lot of rock now, I kind of had to learn rock. I wasn't always this into it. And I always knew, ever since the open format thing came about, I learned fast that Outfield, Jesse's Girl, Bon Jovi, those were all the biggest rock songs. But in order to get to where I am right now, where I can play a whole night of rock, I had to learn other songs. And this was one song. I saw how much success it had on Crooklyn Clan, and that's what made me play it. Riz killed the track. It sounded good. It reached the charts on the site and did well. I figured I'd give it a try. And I was actually shocked how well this song did and how many people actually knew Otherside by Red Hot Chili Peppers. So it actually is a big song.
It still shocks me. I mean, I haven't played this particular remix in a while. I used to definitely play it, and it was really one of the biggest mashups of the time. I mean, it really represents what mashups kind of were at that point. And even the newer remixes of Otherside that I play, it always amazes me too, because you always kind of think that people aren't going to sing along, or the energy is just going to drop during that little guitar riff, but everybody sings along, and it turns into an anthem, and it's always a good time.
I mean, it's almost like Love Is Gone by Guetta, where even though the part where there's no beat behind it, everyone just still sings along to the chorus. It's one of those songs. And also, let's talk a little bit about how we play it. It doesn't really come in that strong. The drums aren't very strong at first. And I actually saw Riz play it at Shrine, and he actually layers the drums from the previous song over the hype at the beginning where it says "Feel the Vibe." He actually keeps the previous song's drums going, which is a good idea, actually, when playing this.
Yeah, if you look at the waveform, even in Serato, you can tell that the beginning drums aren't quite as loud as the rest of the track. So that definitely makes a lot of sense to do it that way.
And this is, it actually kind of reminds me, this track, almost of the Rocket Scientists, what they did to Best of You by Foo Fighters, and how they just took the chorus and it doesn't really have any of the verse. And that's what people did with rock, more so, I want to say a few years ago, before the abundance of rock acapellas have come out recently in the last couple of years. I don't even know, I don't think there is an acapella for this song, actually. But that's what people do now with rock songs. If you want to remix them, sometimes the best way is to just find a chorus where there's not a lot of percussion behind it and chop that up and use that in your song, because a lot of times the verses will have some crazy guitar, which is, I think, what this song does have.
And I think Riz really chopped this up really dope. I mean, he does... excuse me. He does it a lot of different chops that you don't normally hear, like different rhythms, and uses different vocal parts chopped in different ways, which is really cool. And in our interview, actually, he talks about chopping up the parts for Ladies, one of his other classic tracks, which we're going to be talking about on Wednesday. And this definitely shows that he's a master at the chop.
And the B-more, might not be what you really think of as B-more, at least the beat. And this is how a lot of Riz's B-more sound, like the one he did with Soulja Boy, Crank That. It doesn't have that typical
hi-hat.
Yeah, the hi-hat. That's what's missing. But it works very well, and it goes to show that B-more isn't just that sound.
Exactly. So I'm sure you guys have probably heard this in the past, but if you haven't, if you're newer to DJing, definitely take a listen. Go support Riz. You can find him at crooklyn.net/DJ Riz.
And we promise your crowd will know this song.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks again for tuning in. Stay tuned, leave a comment, or email us at remixreport@gmail.com.
And stay tuned for more stuff on Riz coming up.
remixreport.com